On this video, we're going to be looking at how small firms manage to survive in fiercely competitive markets. If you look down almost any high street, you'll see lots of examples of small firms that happily sit side by side with larger firms. There you can see an Indian restaurant. Now, if you think about it, there aren't many, if any, national Indian restaurant chains. They tend to be just one or possibly two restaurants. Compare that, say, with chicken, where you've got, again, lots of small chicken sales firms competing perfectly well with big players like Kentucky Fried. If you look at the grocery industry, and again, there's two examples here of local grocers. Now, they are competing with big players like Tesco, and they are able to survive. A number of these stores here have been around for 30 odd years. So when we say small or medium-sized, what do we actually mean? Well, if you have got fewer than 10 employees and have equity or turnover less than 2 million euros, you're not just regarded as small, you are regarded as micro. So a lot of these small shops will be regarded as micro enterprises. Fewer than 50 employees with a turnover or equity of less than 10 million euros and you are small, whereas if you have fewer than 250 employees with a turnover of less than 50 million euros or equity less than 43 million euros, you're regarded as a medium sized enterprise. Just imagine that, 249 employees, but yet you are not regarded as big, you are regarded as medium. So why small? Well, probably the single biggest reason is that the owners like it that way. They like to be in charge, they like to be in control. They could be operating in a niche market where it's quite difficult to expand beyond that niche. They may be quite happy making a reasonable but not maximum level of profit. They might give personal service and they might be proud of that personal service. It's easier to run a small business. There's fewer controls, there's fewer administrative procedures with a small business, and it may just be that you're doing something because that's what your family have done or that's what you've done. You never thought of doing anything else. So how are they able to survive in a competitive environment? Well, one thing that they can trade on is their product differentiation or their USP. So for example, a number of people like to go to a boutique fashion store rather than going to a high street chain like River Island. They might have built up trust in what they're doing, so people prefer to shop from them than a local supermarket, say. They might be providing tailor-made products, for example, personalised gifts, or they might be trading on either the actual or perceived qualities. Good example of that is the craft beer market. You can see on the left hand side there's about 11 craft beers that I'm showing, and there are a lot more than that. On the right hand side, you can see the growth of microbreweries in the UK. You can see that between 2009 and 2014, there's been a big increase in microbreweries in the UK. Other breweries have also expanded, far more so, incidentally, in the UK than in other European countries. There's some more recent evidence that suggests that the big boys there have been fighting back. You could be trading on your regional reputation. Good example there is Stilton cheese. Brilliant picture there of Cropwell Bishop Stilton by the Fine Cheese Company, a small company. Or alternatively, say if you're a doctor, you're going to want to be based on in Harley Street because that's where you're going to be able to make most money potentially. Or you might just be slightly weird. So here's an example of the ice bar, where literally you go into the bar and everything is made of ice. Where is this? London. Well, actually it isn't. It shut down on the 31st of March 2020, but it had been around for a lot more than 10 years. So again, some people might just like to go there because it's a little bit weird rather than go to a corporate giant. So you might survive just on the basis of you being different or you're pushing a unique selling point. As a small firm, you're also likely to be more flexible. You are likely to have a close relationship with that end customer. You can do something just for them, and you can make decisions on your own back, which means that they're going to be faster. You don't have to turn to anybody else. You might be able to provide better customer service, more personal. You can build up long-term relationships with those customers. There might be a pride in what you are doing for those customers. And of course, you might be able to employ your local knowledge or your specialist knowledge, which perhaps larger firms are unable to do. The fourth and final way that they might be able to survive is by using e-commerce. So they could simply start up as a pure website, so they don't need any physical high street location. Of course, they can use that website to reach a wide audience. A good example of that would be the Edinburgh Natural Soap Company, which is able to sell beyond Edinburgh. They do have physical locations in Edinburgh, but they can sell worldwide by that. Or you could use an interest group site such as Etsy to sell on. So here via Etsy, I've been able to find a number of firms, small firms that sell Beatles products, which is of interest to me. And you might be able to tag on and become a seller for one of the larger companies like eBay or Amazon. So there you don't have to set up your own web structures. And that's it on small businesses.